Boom! Tuesday the 14th of May 2024, and look at that sky. Look at that sky. Yesterday I was working on site. I was topless with my high-V on. It was like Spanish summer heat. The last few days, the weekend that we've just had, the same weekend with the Aurora Borealis and the Northern Lights globally, it was so hot. I was in Camden, strolling through. It was like buzzing. It was like central summer. Everyone was just around, drinking, smoking on the river. It felt like summer was here. And then this morning I get a text. I wake up in my caravan because I'm not trying to pay a mortgage, which means death pledge in Latin, another story. I wake up in my caravan. I get a text from my manager and he says, we've been rained off today, Indigo. Sorry, mate. See you tomorrow. And that's not a problem. I've got things to do. I need to rest, actually. I've been quite tired. And it's unfortunate that I work in a job where it's weather reliant. But the question is, how was I in a high-V, topless yesterday, digging trenches, so hot, and then today it's like this? And there's been times when I'm on site and it's literally blue skies, not even chemtrails, just clear blue skies. And then I go get something from the toolbox, come back out, and it's suddenly, literally, I don't know what's happened. It's like some kind of wind machine has pushed all of this grey haze, not even like this kind of stuff, literally just like a grey haze over the entire sky, and the entire area of Kent is just covered, but you can still see the sun. It's like behind the grey haze, and it now looks like the moon. It's like projecting through, and it's like you can see this. Listen, today I'm talking about the weather and my predictions of what's actually happening, because if you're resonating with me, I'm not here to kind of try and persuade you that weather control exists. I'm just going to talk to the sleeping lions and the lions that know it exists. And if you don't resonate, I love you, man. Find another YouTube channel. They are controlling the weather. They've been doing it since World War II, where they used to like pump sulfur into the air and they flooded out, I think, part of Poland or somewhere in Eastern Europe in order to try and win the war. Look what just happened in Dubai. They're admitting that they're changing the weather. You can literally purchase beautiful weather for your wedding in Dubai. And also recently, somewhere in America, they've been pumping salt into the air for something. And this is around the time that CERN, with the eclipse, started activating themselves again. And if you don't know what CERN is, it is this massive machine in, I believe, Switzerland, which is literally like these two massive tunnels that almost go around the whole of Switzerland, and literally particles faster than the speed of light roll around these two tunnels until they smash into each other. And they're trying to make like dark matter, new universes, portals. And of course, on their website, it's all kind of benevolent. But when you understand the occult, what's happening here, different dimensions, you recognize that they've got the Shiva outside of CERN, representing the destroyer of all worlds. They've done rituals, and people at CERN that are working there have exposed it. And you don't play around with CERN on an eclipse. You don't open up HARP when there's also massive, I think they call G5, geomagnetic storms happening, unless you're trying to take advantage of nature, unless you know that you're losing, and so you're trying to. In Buddhism, there's a quote: cling on to the tail of a thoroughbred horse, and it will take you 10,000 miles. And for us as Buddhists, the thoroughbred horse is our daimoku, chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, the Lotus Sutra, practicing Buddhism. And it's basically saying, if you attach yourself to the tail of a thoroughbred horse, it will take you so far. And it's almost like these negative people are trying to attach themselves to the benevolence of the mystic law, of the astrology, of what's happening in this world with the eclipse, with the geostorms, because these geostorms will be bringing about big shifts. Big pockets of density in your life are going to just remove themselves. And so what they're trying to do is participate in making it useful for them. So I'm going to be honest, I'm still not convinced if the Northern Lights that we're seeing across the entire planet was genuine. Maybe there was some genuine aspect to it, but the fact that HARP technology, which I spoke about in episode 4, did some kind of experiment between the 8th to the 10th. And HARP technology is basically, it's basically something to do with like the aurora. And so this massive company, which is about manipulating the weather and specifically about auroras in the sky, happened to do some kind of experiment from the 8th to the 10th, and then around the 11th and the 10th and 11th and the 12th, globally, one of the most amazing things happened. It was beautiful, regardless of the intention. So weather control, they're controlling the weather. Why are they doing this? So that they can contain, why are they doing this? And I'll tell you now, it can only be for deeply benevolent reasons. I'm going to tell you what my belief is. Famine. The closure of shops, no more rice, potatoes, staple foods, starvation, Georgia Guidestones, bringing people down to 500 million, death. Now, I'm sorry, I'm not here to be your friend or to be positive. I would love to make friends, but I'm not here to be just like what I consider new age, keeping your eyes like this, believing that everything is just going to happen if we take some changa mushrooms or smoke some DMT. We are here for the real work. We are living in Buddhism. We call this the latter day of the law. Okay, the latter day of the law. There's 3 periods since Shakyamuni, Christ, Muhammad, whatever you want to call these deities or these awakened beings. There's 3 periods that come after they leave. The former day of the law, the middle day of the law, and the latter day of the law. The former day of the law, people are actually quite in tune, yeah, with spirituality, with the truth of the gods that we all are. The middle day of the law, people start to get a bit confused, and like priests and charlatans and people that believe they're more spiritual and gurus, they become more powerful in society as they become more connected to God, disconnecting us, ordinary people, and we have to go through them to connect to source. So that's the middle day of the law, and that is the manipulation of the truth. Now we're in what we call the latter day of the law. So 500-year periods, 3 of them. We're now in the latter day of the law. This is the furthest time away from Shakyamuni Buddha, Joshua, Jesus, or Muhammad. And this is the time when people are totally disconnected. It is, in my opinion, a satanic time where the lowest potential in the universe, the lowest ebbs and flows, the lowest potential within ourself is what's the most powerful thing. We are so disconnected from love, from unity, from true sex, from true knowledge, from true food, from true weather. We are so disconnected and being manipulated that this is called the latter day of the law. So we have entered this period. We've been in it for a while. Historians argue back and forth when this happened, when it started. But in my truth, in my research, in my faith, in my belief, we are clearly in the latter day of the law. So, confusion, famine. These are things that literally in Buddhism, and I'm sure in your faith as well, there's a lot of predictions. In the Bible, they are clearly trying to bring about biblical times. After the eclipse, there was news all over America that trillions of these like locust-style crickets are going to go and eat all of the food. That's famine. How easy would that be to create in a lab with their technology? Trillions of these little biological insects that are going to destroy the food. We've got the weather here. They're flooding out farms. Connections that I've got in Wales, people that are farmers, they're saying, bro, our farm, we are effed. We cannot grow anything. And if you know about Monsanto and seeds, most of the time you have to buy your seeds from Babylon, and they're GMO seeds, genetically modified seeds, meaning they only yield one harvest. Then you've got to go back to Babylon for more seeds, because if they gave you a seed, one seed could change your life, because that means forever you could keep on getting harvest and harvest and harvest, and you're self-efficient and you can grow your own land. You can have your own land, and you don't ever need anything external from that one seed. But they're GMOing these seeds. My mum lived in Grenada for years when I was younger, and I lived in the UK, and she told me, King, we can only literally get one season, and then we have to go back to Babylon, and then one season. This is GMO. This is evilness. Yeah. So they want to control the food sources. They want to control the transport. They want to control our religions. They want to control our mind. They want to control us through so many different aspects. So many different aspects. But one of the big things that I'm seeing right now is the potential for famine, massive famine, which is talked about in all religions. It's prophesied in all religions. It's prophesied in Buddhism. It's prophesied in the Bible, that there will be a time when food isn't as easily accessible to people. All it takes in this capitalistic Babylonian system that we live in is one thing to stop. Suddenly, we can't get rice in. Look at America when the ship went into the bridge. Suddenly, the whole of America are going to have difficulty bringing in coal and fertilizer, because it was the second biggest bridge to bring in about coal and fertilizer. What if suddenly something happens in Dover, and our ferries can't bring in certain ships and crates, and then suddenly you can't go to your local co-op, your local Aldi, your local Lidl, your local wherever the bumperclaw Ross you go to buy your food? How are you going to be able to survive? And so again, I'd make these videos not just to be a fearmongerer, but to hopefully to inspire someone to create some steps towards their own sovereignty. And your own sovereignty also means being totally self-efficient, or at least having enough knowledge on how to heal yourself, whether that's through urine therapy. Yes, I said it, urine therapy. Check out a book called The Water of Life. Everything you need is within us. Urine is plasma. It is the blood removing the red blood cells, stem cells. There is no toxins in it. It is literally charged so hard because it's been through your heart 1,000 times before it's even been urinated out. If you replace that and start looping that, unfathomable things happen. Maybe you're still with me. Maybe you think I'm a cuckoo. Do you know how to forage? Pine. Pine, one of the most indigenous, amazing medicines to help us not get clots in our blood, which is something which is happening all over the place right now. Something that is important for us. Do you know how to forage food? Do you know how to fast and survive and keep your energy high if you're hungry? Are you preparing yourself? Do you have tablets that you can put into water, which will cleanse the water if we are forced to drink river water for a short amount of time? I do believe, as Nostradamus predicted, and really, if you are interested in the predictions of Nostradamus, check out Dolores Cannon, Conversations of Nostradamus on Audible, or get the books. There's 3 volumes. I've listened to all of them, 9 hours each, and I was doing it when I was training for the marathon. It was unfathomable. I don't really like audiobooks. I'm a reader, but to be able to listen to this information while jogging was unreal. 3 antichrists, and the last antichrist is going to be coming out of the Middle East, and that person will want to make the entire world an Islamic state. Not that being Islamic is wrong, but when you're forcing that on different cultures, and when that person is using the Quran for malevolent reasons, not benevolent reasons, it is a danger. When you recognize that only yesterday 400 to 500 young men without women came into Dover without passports as illegal, I don't know if you call them immigrants or asylum seekers, and they're unregistered, and they're coming in, and a lot of them hate the tenets and the philosophies of people in the West, it is a serious time. There's videos of these Muslim men working in Asda, for instance, and a woman comes in and she's wearing like a boob tube and some Uggs and like shorts, and he's refusing to serve her because she's not dressed how a woman should dress. This is forcing your ideologies and thoughts on other people. And I want to say it right here, right now. I love you. If you're watching this and you're Islamic, I'm not talking to you. You know I'm not talking to you, brother or sister. I'm talking to people that are weaponizing your faith and using it as an excuse to bring about satanic agendas. 100%. Just like my LGBT, which I hate. It is an organization, by the way, to destroy our minds, destroy our genders, to destroy our sexuality, and to bring an imbalance to natural law on this planet. But gay people, people that are confused about their sexuality, or someone who's a transsexual, do you think I've got beef with you? Do you think that what your sexual desires bother me? No. But I love you, and I want you to know that. But your organization, or your pain has been weaponized into an organization called LGBT, which they're now saying is 2, 3, 7, 8. And I'm sorry, I don't know the rest of the numbers, so it might sound rude when I'm saying this. It is a joke and an insult. Just like Black Lives Matter, our pain of slavery, colonization, confusion, racism has been weaponized so that we think that we're doing something good, but it's actually keeping us in a loop. It's keeping us in our lower chakras. It's keeping us in division. It's not bringing us into unity. So, famine. Farmers are finding it very hard right now to farm because the weather is so erratic. It's not normal. It's not normal. And you know it's not normal. You know these clouds are not normal. You know these clouds are not normal. So that's happening. Famine. All you got to do is look at all the protests that are happening all across Europe with the farmers, and they're going across their tractors. And a lot of you know that are seeing this on Instagram, and you might kind of like absorb it a bit, but we're not understanding what's happening. This is a totalitarian tiptoe, as big man David Icke says, towards something massive, some kind of global shift. Again, I'm not trying to create fear. I'm not trying to create doubt. I'm trying to just question what the bumper claw ras shit is happening in this realm. Because when I'm asleep, it actually makes more sense. The realms I'm in are more peaceful than this life. The truth is actually harder to believe than fiction. If someone was to tell me fictional shit about what's happening here, it would no doubt make more sense than the actual truth. And then this leads me on to the amount of sightings. And if you're not aware of the amount of sightings, please go to the official anonymous YouTube channel. Regardless of what you think of them as an organization, let's just look at the information that they're showing us, because they're just reposting other people's videos. There is unfathomable amount of sightings happening on the planet right now. People are seeing like blue portals opening up in the sky. People are seeing winged metallic men walking through the sky. People are seeing unfathomable things. Thousands of dots spinning around. Me, myself, on my Instagram, which is Indigo Child, INDIGOOCHILD. I only 2 days ago posted a video of a orb-like thing floating through the sky, and people think it's a satellite. And I'm just like, if you believe that that's a satellite, I personally believe you're not aware of what is really happening here, and there's some kind of block within yourself to just simply go, what the ras is that? Because no satellite can move that quickly and then up, down, and move around like this, and then start expanding, glowing, blue, green. So I'm here to say there's something very, 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 very bizarre happening here in 2024. The thing is, everything I've just explained has been happening. I believe I woke up, to be honest, around 15 years old, and everything that I've just said, I've been seeing it very subtly, but I've been more like researching it. Now we're in the depth of it, and you can feel it, you can smell it, you can see it. Every atom of my body is saying, King, prepare yourself. Your true leadership hasn't even begun. Just keep on working right now. Keep on saving as much money as you can. Keep on pulling out as much money, cash, as you can, because all it takes is one simple blackout, and all of your hundreds of thousands of pounds that you've been saving, or your mum gave you, or whatever the ass it is, how are you going to get it out when the ATM is not operating? And don't get me wrong, cash no doubt wouldn't last too long in apocalyptic moments. But the word apocalypse is very scary. But this is the death of the old. And I'm trying to call for the sleeping lions and the lions to raise up your bumper claw and actually start to take action. And that action could literally be every single day, just trying to pray a little bit more. How do we participate in the greatest shift ever? It is by being our raw, real, authentic, natural, geeky, conspiracy theorist, wild, out there, overthinking self. Never change for no one. The right people will absolutely support who you are, and at the same time they will also be strict when you need to be better. When, for me, I'm smoking too much, or I'm not focusing on the correct things and I'm putting my energy, the right people, which they do to me, will always guide me and encourage. But your uniqueness, your intenseness, your passion, never stop that. Never stop that, because often people just can't hold that space. Doesn't mean that they're good or bad. It's just that if you feel you're happy and you're contributing to this world by being yourself, keep on going, because more than ever, my brother and my sister, or my non-binary sibling, if you're finding it hard right now to even identify as a gender, but you're watching this, I want you to feel so fucking included, because I love you, because you are me and I am you. I fucking need us to be our most raw, real, authentic self more than ever right now. Experiment with what the fuck you're thinking. Talk to people about it. Ponder on things, ruminate on things. Let your mind chew on different ideas, because I swear to God, more than ever, as a community of people that resonate with what I'm talking about right now, what the fuck is happening? What's happening? Of course, we've got the elections this year in America. I think we might have a new prime minister here in the United Kingdom soon. But my main concern is, this sky is wild, because yesterday it was crystal clear. Suddenly, it does not feel natural. This is May the 14th. And I'm quite warm right now. It's not too cold, but it's just been raining consistently. So I'm questioning things. I'm looking at the world. I'm seeing, literally, like I said, go on Anonymous official YouTube channel and just see the amount of sightings that people are watching continuously. Actually, I will repost at least one of their videos below this, so that at least you can go directly there. Something major is happening. And what makes sense to me the most is, we were born for this moment. People that resonate like me right now, yeah? And I know you are right now, otherwise you wouldn't have been watching this for 17 minutes. We were born for this moment. Never fear that you have everything you need within you. Just like with the urine therapy, everything you ever need medicine-wise is within you. Everything you need, your spiritual tools, your guidance, your ancestors, your intuition, your courage, your determination, your hope, is all within you. Everything you will need to participate when things do become turbulent will be within you. Have no fear, because we chose to come down here. We are the ground team, but we are working with different dimensions. We are 100% working with different dimensions, and they are helping us. They are guiding us. They are showing us so many benevolent signs that even though things are tough, even though people are turning their back on you, or even if you're finding things really difficult because a lot of dirt is surfacing in your own life, keep going, kings and queens, because also the dirt is surfacing in Babylon. And remember, we are the microcosm of the macrocosm. So when dirt surfaces in Babylon, as wars happen, as disunity happens, as confusion happens, it will happen within ourselves. But we, if we're aware of this, can alchemize it. And so we actually turn poison into medicine, instead of poison turning even more poisonous, and we go downhill. I love you. I always have, because you are me and I am you. Try not to judge people. Try and support and love your friends as much as possible. As I always say, check in on your neighbors or your friends, or even just a smile to your local homeless person can change everything. Never think that the smallest acts aren't massive. And I don't know if you can see this right now. There's a bus there. I don't know if I can zoom into that. No, I can't, because it's a selfie camera, but it's a civil war. We're living in a world right now where they're literally spending hundreds of millions of pounds to create movies to try and implant ideas into our head to bring about, through the power of manifestation and law of attraction, ourselves, because we are the microcosm of the macrocosm, civil war. They want civil war. They want civil war. And I sometimes can't navigate in my head that people can't understand that bus right there is more powerful as a weapon than a nuclear weapon. And if you don't understand what I'm saying there, then you don't understand the depth of what I'm saying. That bus right there is more powerful than potentially Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Why? Because if you understand the occult, the power of media, the power of Hollywood, which the druids, Hollywood is all based on druids, and they used to have the holy wand made out of the holy tree, Hollywood, and the druids basically cast spells on people, which is what mediums are, which is what the media is. They have used Hollywood from the very blood clot start, CIA implants, Disney, all of this to bring about a reality that we have no idea about. Research how many great fires there's been in America over the last few hundred years. There's a great freaking fire in every single state. What does this mean? This means that they are consistently burning history so that we don't have a clue of the truth of what happened. Tartaria, the mud floods, the NPC clones that they bring in about. That's why we got the NPCs all around us. There's clones literally all around us. The incubator babies. I'm sure you've heard about this stuff. The incubator babies. There was literally festivals and fun fairs hundreds of years ago where they just had hundreds of thousands of these incubator babies, and they were basically populating Europe with these, what I consider NPC clone babies. If you don't know what I'm talking about, where can you get information on that? I'm not sure. Check it out. Just write in the incubator babies. This is coming from so much knowledge in my head from books, hours and hours of podcasts and research and videos that it's hard sometimes for me to give you a place to check it out. Let me not give you too much. Like I said, that bus right there, if you're vibrating on my level right now, then you will understand nuclear weapons. Yes, they're serious and something we should be looking at. But the real weapons are so subtle, so deep, so satanic, you wouldn't even have a clue that weapon right there, an advert on a bus, getting people to go to the cinema, to then absorb the idea of civil war. After watching the film Leave the World Behind, where it ends saying there's going to be civil war, where we're actually at a time right now where civil war is so rife, where we are having an invasion of immigrants from different countries that are coming from war, that hate the West, hate our ideas, and they want us to kill ourselves. This is something David Icke, and I don't care what you think of him. I'm suspect about him sometimes, but regardless, it's something David Icke was speaking about 20 years ago, that they can't kill us because it's about 100 people that run the world. How can they kill us? So what they do is confuse us, disunity, and they want us to literally create civil war. So that's the bumper clot truth. Whether you believe it or not, that's mine, and maybe it's yours, maybe it's not. I'm just here being real, raw, vulnerable. Please like this if you can. Subscribe to my channel if you can. Share it just to one friend. Share it on a YouTube channel. On your Facebook or your Telegram group if you can. And I'm having to remove the blocks within me to ask people to do that, because actually this is part of how the frick we grow. And I don't know how long this channel will last with the stuff I'm saying, but I will eventually be on Rumble, BitChute, and I just feel the most important thing I can do right now, whether I manifest money from this or not, which is what I'm hoping to do, because you know that guy that sits there and he eats all the food and he stuffs his face on TikTok, some white guy, and he's got like weird teeth and shit. It looks like a hamster, and he eats all this weird food, and he rates the food. That guy I just saw an interview, he gets 10 to 15 grand a month from TikTok. So why the arse shouldn't we get money for being able to express our truths? So please share it, man. Help me grow. Help the right people who need to feel this vibration. Help them to find me if I'm of any use. Remember as well, we all come from Africa, Kemet, yeah? So in order for the planet to heal, we all need to actually start healing our own African roots. That's how deep it gets, but that's a whole nother conversation. Hey, I love you, yeah? I am Indigo. I'm right now in Kent. And when things don't seemingly go your way, this is another thing I want to say. So this morning, I was chanting and I was praying, and then I got called off of work. Now I could have been pissed. I was like, damn, man, I don't have much money, and like that's more money that I'm not going to make today because my job is weather dependent. But I took a deep breath and I just let it go, because why? How dare I chant and pray in the morning, and then as life unfolds, I'm annoyed because in my own egoic, stupid little human mind, I thought I knew better for my life and my expansion than what the hell the universe had planned for me. Now, even though it was rained out and it could have no doubt been Babylon, it was no doubt Babylon that rained out Kent today. The simple fact is, a friend of mine from high school rang me and he was like, yo, I'm in Kent and I know that you're here and I've got a potential job opportunity for you. Are you free, man? Let's go have lunch. If I was at work, I would not have been able to, I wouldn't have even seen the phone call. I wouldn't have been able to link him. And this brother's telling me that this job might even have a car. that comes with it, automatic car, and I've just passed my license, and I'm thinking, how the Ross can I dig? How many trenches am I going to have to dig to get the insurance and the money for a car? So many trenches. And then this opportunity comes. Now, whether it happens or not is not the point. Trust your life. Trust your life. Trust your life. Everything is happening for you, but surrender and just observe it instead of trying to control it. On Sunday, I was chanting. I was the MC, the master of ceremonies at a big Buddhist event here in Kent, in Canterbury. And I was chanting, and I had a very, very difficult, heavy weekend because the Aurora Borealis sprang a lot of dirt up into my life, and a lot of things that no longer could stay stagnant had to be addressed, had to be spoken about, as the cosmos shifted that for me. So thank you. And I shifted it myself. So thank you, King. But I did this event and I was chanting, and I have beads when I chant, and my beads, which I've had for about 5-6 years, they just snapped and they went everywhere, and there was about 200 people or something in the room. I don't know how many people, but a few of them went, oh my God, Indigo, you must have really changed something. Your karma must have really shifted. This is what they said to me. And I was like, wow. And then so Sunday night and Monday, I had no beads to chant with, and it feels very weird for me chanting without my beads. And then this morning, a Buddhist leader in the area of Kent sent me a message, and she said, I've got a beautiful pair of beads, beautiful pair of, I think, sandalwood beads, green ivy colours beads. And she was like, I would love to gift them to you. And without me even, and I was thinking, oh man, I'm gonna have to spend now even more money, and I'm really trying to save money right now. Like I said, I'm trying to prepare to have as much money physically around me as I can. If anything happens with the cash points, cash is king. So I was thinking, do you know what? Maybe in like 2-3 weeks, I can save like a tenner a week, and then I can buy a nice pair of beads. I didn't even have to leave my house. It didn't even take more than 72 hours, and a beautiful pair of beads, which represent, by the way, a new stage in your life, came literally to my caravan door this morning, dropped off. And I wouldn't have even been able to receive the beads if I was at work. So this is a sign to me that my new life is arriving, or should I say an expanded version of who I've always been is now entering into my realm. It is lowering itself into the 3rd dimension because it already exists in the 4th. Everything exists in thought and in spirit first in the 4th dimension. So whatever shifts I've been making spiritually to try and improve myself, I'm trying to stop smoking skunk every single day, and I'm trying to smoke hash and mugwort, which is taking a bit of a getting used to, but I am not trying to poison myself as much as I was, you know? And I love all the skunk that I've smoked in the past, but now I can feel the little voice within me is saying you need to change. And I stopped smoking for a month, so many shifts happen, and then I got a new job. I started smoking again quite a lot. And I'm finding life hard. I'm finding it hard to navigate. I'm finding myself in quite heavy energies quite a lot of times. I'm finding myself sometimes aggravated and like, fuck, life is so hard right now, man. And you don't need to be puffing your head off all the time. Even though I love it, it is like my first girlfriend. So instead, I'm trying to make these changes towards being a better person. So maybe that shift, yeah. And the very first day, can I just say that I made that shift within myself. I got a job opportunity as a model up here in Kent. And something else major happened, which I was just like, this is just insane. Oh yeah, it was the day that I decided to start making these videos. And that was from one day of not smoking skunk to hash. And it's almost like all of these downloads was finally like, oh yes, finally, you've acted upon the little voice within your heart. So now we can start shifting things. And now here I am in a park in Kent talking to you about the weather. And it wouldn't have happened if I was still puffing on the skunk. So make small changes, and these changes will appear in the 4th dimension first, but now, and you will see the signs of them coming into the density of the 3rd dimension. So stay happy, raw, real, vulnerable. Stay sexy and angry and joyous. Whatever it is that you're experiencing, it is the beauty of life. There is 10 life states in life, ranging from Buddhahood to hell. Never fucking think that you're not any of them. And we will consistently have to experience all of them as we bounce through the different life states. And so when someone is sad, I don't go, oh man, try and get out of that life state. No man, realize that, recognize it, be that life state. And if you don't want to be sad, do what you can to raise it in your own natural way. Life is beautiful, man. Life is beautiful. Just one day of life is worth more than all of the treasures in the entire cosmos. And life is also eternal. Life is also eternal. And to try and get your mind around that, just imagine every single grain of sand on the planet. If you were to just put your finger and touch the sand, there's no doubt about 100 dots on your finger alone. That's 100 lives. Now imagine every single grain of sand on the entire planet. You've had more lifetimes than that. Eternity. Try and wrap your head around that, yeah? Indigo.